Are the O Block killers turning on Lil Durk? Y'all know how them feds play. Do your homework on the feds. They not coming to play with you when they come, shorty. You guys should do your homework on the feds. Now, I wouldn't be surprised because O Block, them niggas getting life. I don't know if they got sentenced already, but they getting life. So anything and everything they can do to kind of get themselves a year or 5 years here or whatever, they gonna do it, shorty. So
they're saying this can't be good. Or is it just a coincidence? Now, it's been revealed that the sentencing dates for the 6 O Block members that were found guilty of the murder of FBG Duck 2 years ago has been abruptly cancelled out of nowhere. Literally, they've suddenly, out of absolutely nowhere, suddenly cancelled this sentencing. And this is really interesting for me because I've been waiting for this sentencing for quite some time.
And again,
okay, I've literally been desperate to get to the bottom of this sentencing. I've been dying to find out how many years they're going to get all of these famous people, you know, particularly Mula, who was probably one of the most infamous frontline shooters. You had these guys, C-Murder, Los, all of these guys, a whole bunch of these guys, right? Everybody that you see here was facing serious time for their involvement.
And it's I think the dude in the middle at the bottom, that's the dude that called them and he tried to act like Duck did something to him.
The murder of FBG Duck. It was a very brutal murder. There was rumors that King Von had put up a $100,000 bounty for it to happen. There was rumors that the phone calls had been kind of lined up by Lil Durk's brother D-Thang, who would have been on this case had he not lost his own life. And there's been rumors.
D-Thang can get locked up too. That's crazy. He would have been on this case. He'd have been locked up right with them. So he would have been locked up for this. And Durk would have been locked up for King Von. I mean,
that Lil Durk somehow may or may not have been involved in this, and it seemed like his name was redacted in the paperwork initially, but in the paperwork for this trial, it didn't seem like there was reference to somebody who could be seen as Lil Durk. Now, the fact that they have cancelled this sentencing, this was meant to happen like over a month ago, I think.
Right.
I was waiting for this to happen. I was ready to report on it. I thought it was going to be really interesting kind of to finally go full circle with this story and actually find out how much time these guys have got. Suddenly, we're finding out there's no sentencing. It's been abruptly cancelled. And what I think is really interesting is the timing, right?
Yeah.
It's a case where Lil Durk may or may not have been brought up. I'm not going to say...
If they had his brother... Hold on, y'all. This is my clothing brand. I need y'all to go support your boy, okay? And supporting your boy with some pretty cheap clothing, all right? And you're going to be fly and fresh as hell, man, all right? Link in the description. They.us. Go shop. They had his brother implicated in the murder, in the whole case. I feel like Lil Durk could definitely be connected somehow, some way. And you know they trying to keep Durk at whatever cost. That's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like the feds is trying to keep Durk locked up in there by any means necessary. So if that means that they got to connect the Rico or connect the fact that you might be a boss or this or that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I'm saying?
Did he's involved with it? Or, you know, that's going to upset a lot of people, but... It's an objective fact that his name was brought up in this case, right? Or it was inferred, even if the name was redacted. We know who he was talking about. D-Thang's also mentioned in there. He's no longer alive to face it.
Right.
The rumor that...
Do your homework on this shit right here. This is like gold in the pack. Do your homework on grabba leaf, whole leaf, the black pack.
Is going around in the face of this news coming out is that perhaps one of these guys is actually planning on telling on Lil Durk and basically putting him in it for the FBG Duck murder to try and save themselves. And there's been a whole bunch of rumors. It's not new. I'm not putting this out there. I'm not trying to manifest this, but there's obviously been a whole bunch of rumors of different murders that Lil Durk may have had some kind of connection to.
Right.
Obviously, the murder of Lil Pab is a big deal. He's currently facing murder for hire charges on that. They've brought up this murder of Stefan Mack.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. Yeah, I know what I always say. I'm going to stop pausing. You know what I always say? I always say, like, you don't never get caught the first time you rob somebody. You know what I mean? It's usually like second or the third or the 15th or the 32nd. You know what I mean? So if Lil Durk did put together that Lil Pab murder, I wouldn't be surprised if he had other bodies or other, you know what I'm saying, other situations in the streets that may or may not have involved with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he had that. If he had other murders up under his name, other murders that he helped put together. Would you? I wouldn't. Crazy man.
Individual who allegedly had something to do with Lil Durk's brother D-Thang's death, right? And they've not charged Durk with the murder for hire, but they're basically saying, yo, we've got a case in Chicago where these guys are basically on the phone talking about, yo, has Durk sent you the money? When's the OTF money for the hit that we did coming through? That's damning stuff. Now, I've been waiting and thinking, I'm not sure if I would be surprised if a superseding indictment dropped that basically put the Stephon Mack murder on Durk, wrapped up the whole OTF criminal empire in a Rico, and basically said, you're the one that will call in the hits, you got multiple murder for hires, you're leading this gang, and everybody is involved. Now, what's crazy, the O-Block faction of the gang is mentioned in the paperwork. You know, they're Black Disciples, you got OTF, Lamron, O-Block, they're all clicked up. It's all got stuff to do with King Von. And the most recent paperwork that we've seen does mention about King Von and the Get Back and the Slide for Von campaign. And this murder of FBG Duck just happened like, what was it, about 3 months or so before the death of King Von? Some of these guys were looking at facing 55, 60, perhaps even more years for their involvement in this, right?
Bro. Toast it.
And again, I'm not saying this to disrespect anyone. I'm not trying to put everyone down for no reason. But like the whole OTF empire is, I'm sorry, but it's kind of over with. Like,
hell yeah, boy, it's toast.
If on the slim chance that Lil Durk does beat these charges, I don't personally, in my opinion, think he's going to be able to beat these charges. I think this is very serious, and I think the feds have a very high conviction rate. I think people are a little bit in denial about some of the evidence that's being brought up.
The best thing that can happen to that nigga is he get 20 years, man.
Some of the people that are perhaps turning on Lil Durk. It wouldn't surprise me if some of these guys on this case, I'm not saying that it's definitely true, but I'm just saying as far as human psychology goes, it wouldn't surprise me if you were facing 55 years
right. You gonna
for a murder that you're about to get sentenced on, and you know that maybe there's a big man that's involved in this who's kind of at the top pulling some of the strings. Maybe there's bounties being put up. That's what was rumored to have happened. Whether it's D-Thang, whether it's Durk, whether it's Von, whoever. You saying, well, I'm gonna go down. I'm loyal to the family. It's only the family. I'm not gonna throw the big man under the bus. He's got to go out and he's got to continue to do his thing. He's got to be the breadwinner for the organization. But if that breadwinner is now facing murder for hire, potentially going away forever, and you're all just going away forever. Now, I know that a lot of people, and possibly these are some of the most solid individuals in Chicago drill history. None of these people would ever tell, and that's completely understandable.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's not unthinkable that there's not even a slight chance
real good
that one of these people might say, I'm facing...
You go into the FBI, and there's a bunch of FBI agents in this courtroom, and they say guilty.
In 55 years, Durk might be cooked anyway. You know what? I want to see my kids again. I want to be there for my kids to grow up. I'm going to turn on Durk. It's not outside the realms of possibilities, okay?
Hell no.
So people are saying, I originally thought it was linked, but I don't see it now. I don't think any of them would have real helpful knowledge. Most of it would be hearsay. The only person likely to have knowledge would be Muwop, but I think it's unlikely they'd stop everyone's sentencing in the hope that Muwop will flip. Who knows, though? Life without parole is a long...
What's that doing for them? Why can't I stop y'all sentencing? Y'all already got found guilty. Y'all, it was murder for hire, whatever the case is. Y'all, everybody know y'all toasted. So why not just stop y'all sentencing for a little while and try to get one of y'all to flip so I can get this other dude I'm trying to get? Why not? What's that doing for them? What hurtful is that doing for the feds?
Muwop could be going for it while he's young and he has a daughter. He says, I feel like they're trying to tie the FBG Duck murder into Durk's case. That's why they don't want a sentence ahead of Durk's trial. All right? Because they might say, well, before you get that 55 years, can you help us put Durk away? Because that's who we really want. Right. And if they're saying, maybe I can make Durk's name connected to as many as 6 murders.
Right.
And they're saying in that indictment that there were 6 hits in addition to the Lil Pab hit. That's what the feds said. Don't kill the messenger. That's what the feds said, okay? Saying I feel like it'd be very difficult to link the O-Block case in this case. I disagree with that statement, but okay.
Me neither.
It would have to be a separate indictment because at no point has Brown Eyes and the other guy, forgot his name, been linked to anything related to Duck or even Von. 2 of them aren't even OTF, THF, or O-Block, just random guys that Didi supposedly recruited and did it for the bounty. But people are saying when it comes to the Rico Act, it doesn't matter if these 2 cases are related. Exactly. It's the fact that it's really all the same organization.
That's what I was talking about, bro. It don't matter about if Durk the one that sent them in. It don't matter. If these 2 people are in cahoots, if D-Thang gave the okay to do the murder, and Lil Durk is known to have, and look, bro, you could be charged with a Rico for going to pick up a package. Do your homework on the BMF Rico. Niggas was getting locked up for dropping niggas off, bro. Like, when you have a Rico going on and you have the feds are saying that they have an organized crime type deal going on, bro. All you gotta do, you could be the money counter and get locked up for 10 years for being a part of this Rico. being a part of this criminal organization. Like, man,
gang or entity that's committing the crimes is what brings a RICO Act together. Example, I know guys who are in RICO indictments with people they literally never met in their life.
Exactly.
People are saying that also happened with YSL, actually.
Exactly.
Lil Rod, who I believe was 10 when some of the guys went to prison, and the courtroom was the first time they'd ever even seen him. Insane.
Exactly,
I just don't see it. I know RICO doesn't need to be a huge indictment, but I don't think the government can prove all of these guys were involved in wanting OTF to gain notoriety. If Durk and Diddy planned this like the government said they did, it was a good decision to bring complete outsiders into the mix. So,
but you see, people can say hearsay, but when you have witnesses can be called on. Anyway, like I was saying, you could get somebody to come and testify just to prove a certain point. Like, hey, do you have any knowledge of Lil Durk being aggressive or any violence coming through Lil Durk's approval or anything? You could say that. And if you coming up there and you got 2-3 witnesses saying like, yeah, I've heard Lil Durk kill people, but we never knew, that can sway a jury. It don't have to necessarily be the truth, bro. Only thing they got to do is convince a jury to be like, yeah, we think he guilty.
So a lot of them don't believe it. People say none of them were out in 2022, so they don't have info on the Durk case. They've already been convicted, but all of them have filed motions for oral argument. I think the thing that people are overlooking here is they're not necessarily... Here's a comment that actually gets to the point of it. They're not necessarily trying to say, oh, Moo, what do you know about Durk getting the Lil Pab murdered in 2022 after you'd already got arrested? I think what they're really trying to do is what this comment says here. Sounds like they're trying to merge the cases into one indictment.
Right.
People saying that's not how this works. They've already been convicted. Durk hasn't. They're in different stages of the legal process. They won't merge both cases into one, but they'll use both cases as evidence for a RICO Act.
That's what he's saying, right?
And I personally think this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Says that's not how it worked.
He said exactly that's the point I was making. That's not how it works. They've already got convicted. Durk hasn't. Exactly, dumbass. They already got convicted for a known murder that happened, and they're convicted for it, which means under the pretense of the law, they did it. It's a fact that they committed murder now. You feel me? And they all from O Block. They ran out of O Block. They left O Block and went to kill this man Duck. So it's not necessarily tying the two cases to make them one. No, I'm saying, okay, we cooking up this RICO over here. This murder that we already solved. We already got a conviction for this murder. We already know that they did it. And they're a part of the same organization. The O Block, the THF, the 600, the 300, the OTF, all that is connected. They've said, they've on plenty of interviews saying, oh, it's all the same thing. So if we have a convicted murder over here, and we're trying to convict this guy for murder under the same criminal organization, then yes, I'm going to use this convicted murder to help me convict more. Simple math.
Yeah, they've already been convicted. That's why they're not confirmed to be doing anything, but that's why they have the opportunity to potentially tell on Durk, because the feds always want the biggest person. They want the person at the top of the pyramid. If they can turn around and say, you know what, Lil Durk, you're the leader of this violent criminal street gang that has been doing murder for hire back to back to back to back, from FBG Duck to Lil Pab to FBG Cash to J Ski and Oil to Stefan Mack. All of these people that you had vendettas with have all been killed, and we're going to wrap you all up in it. It's not unthinkable that the feds could do that. Okay?
Exactly.
So I feel like this is actually really bad news. It says O Block and OTF are factions of the Black Disciple Gang in the eyes of the FBI. This is for the RICO. They don't have to link the cases. Just prove that Black Disciple members committed both crimes. Then nail them shut.
That's all you have to do.
All right. You got to remember the case is superseding, meaning other people can still get added and charged. So they could be trying to add more people to the case or get more information about other cases. People are saying you don't know anything without knowing anything. Amusing, really. Dudes have already been convicted. It's over nothing. Merging cases. Dudes never got a traffic ticket talking about court stuff. They've been tried to link them to other murders. I don't know why you're acting like it's straight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people just don't be knowing what they talking about. They just be wanting, like, you know, people just don't know what they be talking about, bro. Like, it just don't make sense. Like, nobody's saying they merging the damn cases. Like, you taking it too literal, bro. It's a superseding indictment, number one, which means people can get added to that case. Like, niggas is just slow, bro. Y'all got this type of delusion that Lil Durk is just going to get out tomorrow.
I personally don't think it's a stretch, all right? And this is all going around. Sentencing for the O Block members in FBG Duck case have been cancelled just out of nowhere. Here's the paperwork. Just out of nowhere. Sentencing,
out of nowhere.
It's just been cancelled. So we don't know exactly what's going on. Now, before we go any further, I just want to point something out, okay? Shout out to Mama Duck. This is FBG Duck's mother. She's live right now as I'm recording this. And she basically is going to be, in my opinion, one of the forefront and most important people reporting on the Lil Durk murder for hire trial. Now, she just got her channel back. She was very unfairly banned at some point. I don't know exactly why. She did have other channels, which unfortunately haven't come back. But this is her main original account. This is where she did a lot of legendary lives that I've referenced in my video about the Duck murder and everything like that.
Okay.
I'm now subscribed to her on my second channel. I was already subscribed on my main channel. I'm browsing on the second channel right now. Or maybe this is the main channel. Maybe they've unsubscribed me from her. But you know, this is a legendary channel. She's done a lot of stuff on here. She's kind of broken a lot of things down, and I personally feel like you should go and subscribe to her channel. She is currently right this second, live this second, reacting to this cancellation of the sentencing. Bear in mind, FBG Duck is her son. She's been waiting for justice. She's been waiting for these guys to get sentenced so she can finally get closure on this situation. And I would like to think that the state would not cancel and delay this sentencing and the justice that this woman deserves if it wasn't strictly necessary, if it wasn't important, if it didn't have some kind of very significant impact on what's going on.
Let me ask y'all a question. Why you think the feds, for everybody that don't believe this shit, why you think the feds took the Oblak case? That wasn't no state. They didn't cross state lines to kill Duck. That wasn't. The feds came and took that case over. If you think that the feds came and took that case over just to get a murder conviction, you're mistaken. That's not how the feds play. The feds got bigger goals in mind, bro. It's not just, oh, we're gonna get these niggas that's gangbanging and kill them. No, bro.
On basically, okay, so shout out to Mama Duck, and you know, I want to show her love. Go and support her channel. Go and support her. She's been through a lot. It doesn't matter what you think of the streets.
Okay,
and her,
Ross. What are you talking about?
I was voice noting her like here.
Oh yes. He ain't talking about shit.